When you hear him talk like that, do you like that? Do you want him to be there for you to fight and execute the way?
Of course. I mean, like I said before, as a world champion, I wouldn't want anything less than a worthy opponent. You know, in my eyes, a worthy opponent is someone that's not afraid, someone that's honestly willing to fight and going to bring the best that they can possibly bring. And that's what I feel as though JoJo's going to bring.
What do you think about JoJo's emotional response to this bout? I mean, clearly he's taking this very serious. What did you think about that, seeing that he was close to tears?
I mean, he might be close to tears on Saturday as well. You know, they was already. It was funny. They was talking about going to sleep and being tired and all that. They might go to sleep Saturday. You know, it's possible.
Have you trained any different in this preparing for this bout than you did in the past?
I mean, of course, you never really train the same for everyone. Everyone has a different style, and you want to prepare based upon the style that you're going to compete against. You know, so we always definitely train differently.
It seemed like to me you got a little more motivation in this fight than you had in your past fight. Does this fight right here mean a little bit more than Eskandar fight?
He's definitely more notable
that was his answer?
than Eskandar world. You know, he has a following, he has a good fan base behind him. I think that's cool. That helps us to survive our team. Much better support someone that no one knows. That helps, but once again, the objective is
he wanted me to respect him.
Now, in the Lomachenko-Linares fight, Lomachenko was able to get the win, and then after that, he was talking about how, in that particular performance, that may have more people to step up to challenge
by pursuing him and asking him.
That's respect. Are you expecting to, you know, go in there and just perform the way that you've always performed, or are you going to do, you know, something to like try to open the door for those?
Nah. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people lack integrity. You know, a lot of people lack integrity. That's something that I do not lack. The essence of me will never change. This is who I am, how I conduct myself, how I fight. That's what it is. So I'm not trying to do anything extra. You know, I put all the work in the gym. We gonna make it happen.
What's the difference between, I know you've heard this question a million times, but this is just for the novice fans and the outer. What's the difference between Gary Russell Lomachenko and Gary Russell JoJo Diaz today?
The difference is we took certain people out of our camp. You know, I mean, that's about it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. You know, that's the biggest thing. You know, we don't have to cut weight. We don't have to lose 5 pounds before the fight. You know, I was up here drinking because yesterday I was underweight. You know, so we good.
And talk about, I know all your brothers are left-handed. Talk about actually going into the ring with a left-hander, and it's not your brothers. It's someone you got to take their head off.
I mean, it's cool because I get all the training in the gym. I don't spar with my brothers a lot, but we definitely do move around sometimes, and it's very, very familiar to me. You know, so it's not unfamiliar territory stepping in the ring with another southpaw fighter.
How helpful is that?
I mean, it's definitely helpful, but you have to understand, my amateur career is what prepared me for who I am today. You know, when you compete in the amateurs, you fight against so many different people, so many different styles in a week. You know, you have to fight 5 times just to win one tournament. You don't have the opportunity to be able to prepare for your opponent. You know, you just have to prepare yourself to the best of your ability once again, and have the ability to be versatile and make the necessary adjustments. Physics is everything. You know, if you're a southpaw fighter fighting another southpaw fighter, depending on body positioning, there's only certain shots that a guy can throw effectively. You know, that's just with physics in general. You know, and once again, it goes back into intellect. In most cases, the more intelligent fighter should win.
Now, your father's birthday is Sunday, right?
That's
Obviously,
right,
he wants to go 3-0 Saturday, and I know I've interviewed you a handful of times, and you're a very proud man. Did you know it was Malcolm X's birthday Saturday?
I did not know.
Yeah, Malcolm X's birthday Saturday.
Oh man, I know now. You just learned me to something, man. A lot of great things happening on Saturday.
Yeah. And I heard you invest your money. You have a handful of properties in the DMV area. Can you elaborate on that? Just I know other fighters want to hear my interview.
I definitely prefer to not elaborate.
Oh, okay.
But at the end of the day,
making great investments.
At the end of the day, man, we have a lot of fighters, boxers in general have a black eye being ignorant, you know, when it comes to their finance. We have a lot of people that we can use as examples. And boxing is a very, very hard sport. It's a sport that physically and mentally wears on your body, and just like any other occupation you have, you know, a lot of these other occupations have these things in place for when your career is over with, you can fall back on. Boxing don't have that, you know, so you have to be educated enough, you know, and intelligent enough to be able to put up for your harvest, you know, for when this thing is all said and done. At the end of the day, there's so many fighters that compete, and when their career is over, they have nothing to show for all their hard work and wear and tear they put in their body. That's something that me and neither of my younger brothers would go through.
And if I may ask one more question. I've noticed I had to write a couple articles leading up to this fight. You know what inspired me to come to this fight instead of going to Toronto? I'm being candidly honest with you. Every photo I saw of you, you had your ring on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Oh yeah, man. That's my baby, man. My wife, Sapphire Russell. She makes things easy, you know. And it's funny because I always heard people when I was younger say, "Well, that's my better half," or "That's this," and I never could understand it until now, you know. And when I got married, I thought I was going to learn more about my wife. She told me more about myself than anything, you know. Told me more about myself than anything, man. She's definitely a great support, a great help. She makes it so easy for me to be able to go to the gym and work out day in and day out. For her to be able to be home and, you know, take care of our children the way that I would want our children to be taken care of, man, takes a big stress off of me, takes a big weight off of my shoulders, man. And, that's my baby, man. I love her very much.
What do you think his experience of being an Olympian like yourself? It's not too often where two Olympians kind of fight each other based out of the U.S. Obviously, you fought Lomachenko, but how do you think that kind of plays into it? And you know, you mentioned how it was helpful about you having the experience of seeing different styles, but so does he. Just what do you think of that matchup? And just,
I mean, I'm not really sure. The elements of life brought us to this point. You know, the elements of life brought us to this point, man, and we're going to take the bull by the horn. I'm 100% ready. I'm prepared, like I said, I'm the reigning world champion. I've been world champion for the last 3 years. I've been trying to fight all the other world champions for the last 3 years. You know, we're ready. Once again, I never really worry about my opponents at all. I prepare myself to the best of my ability.
You'd mentioned the possibility if you can't set up, if you get through this fight and win this fight, want to try to find a unification bout. If you can't, going up as high as 140. How long do you kind of, you know, do you have a timeline in your mind of how long you try to wait to make that next fight, or?
I don't have a timeline in my mind as far as how long I want to wait for the next fight. I would love to get it in within the same year. God willing, it should happen. You know, politics is crazy, you know, but I would love to get that fight, you know, to make one of these unification bouts happen relatively soon. I've been trying to make it happen for the last 3 years. It hasn't happened yet, you know, so this is why I'm to the point where I'm willing to meet some of these other guys in catchweights, because no one in the division is actually willing to step in the ring and compete against me. The fighters, nor the promoters or managers. Luckily, I have a very, very worthy opponent, you know, Diaz, someone that's you know, really wants to become a champion. You know, he's going to do everything in his power to do so, and I'm going to do everything in my power to stop it.
You kind of start to realize that, okay, maybe if I need some of these guys, if I can get some of these guys in the ring, I'll have to do a catchweight. Like, it seemed kind of like last year, you know, you wanted to stick to featherweight, that sort of thing.
I wanted to stick to featherweight, one, because I'm the world champion at featherweight, of course, and it's one of the most loaded divisions that there is in boxing. You know, it's definitely one of the most loaded divisions that there is in boxing. And for the fact that it is one of the most loaded, and I'm the best fighter in the division, you know, why not stick around? You know, and I've been hoping that I'll be able to get an opportunity to unification bout, but the politics is getting crazy. And I'm planning on competing against some of these other guys that do have a big name in boxing, what from any weight from 140 all the way down to 126.
You're trying to get frustrated at all? Is that frustrating to you?
I mean, it can be irritating, but it comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. It happens. Life is full of adversity. You know, we're going to keep pushing and keep grinding no matter what the situation is.
Mr. Russell, you said moved up. I immediately got excited. I'm in Maryland. Tank Davis, Gary Russell. How excited? That's a guaranteed sellout. Everyone's happy financially. How excited would you be to make that fight happen?
The funny thing is, man, I personally like Gervonta Davis. You know, he's younger than me. I watched him come up, you know, in the amateur rank. I'm glad that he became a world champion after everything that he's come through in the amateurs. And I'm glad that he's generating a sense of currency now for his family. But when I move up in weight, if your name not a Russell, then we can make that fight happen.
How does that fight play out? That's a salivating fight for me. I mean, that's like that's an extremely salivating fight for me. What do you take away from Tank?
What you mean?
Like when you go into the fight, what do you? Cause you said you've seen him grow up, you've seen him win a world championship. What do you take away from a Tank Davis? Like,
oh man,
walking into rounds 1 through 4, I got to take something away from Tank to make this fight easier for me.
I have to force him to use his intellect. I think Tank Davis is a very, very strong fighter. You know, he's strong. He can get physical, but a lot of fighters are one-dimensional. I think in most cases, the more intelligent fighter should win. You know, I tell people all the time that boxing is intellect manifested on the physical form. You know, in most cases, the more educated fighter should win. I think I'm a much smarter and much seasoned fighter than Tank Davis is in the ring, and I think that will ultimately win with me being victorious.
And would you like to take the show on the road? Maybe go back to Vegas. Maybe I can get out of bed and see you fight at StubHub again. or you just fall in love with fighting at home.
I've been to the point in my career where I travel so much that I don't even like traveling anymore. I love the fact that the fight is here. I can get out of bed and drive down the street. You know what I'm saying? When I leave here, it's funny. We was just leaving the gym, and came straight here from my gym. You know, so we may be 15 minutes away. We good.
What's the?
I'm gonna jump in too, baby.
Okay. You're going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I got you.
What's the 4 words to describe Gary Russell? He's obviously going to be a Hall of Famer, I believe. What's the 4 adjectives that describe Gary Russell?
Yeah, it's been going on for 2 weeks now.
Loyal, fiercely competitive, driven, family oriented. That's the essence of me.
We're here with the champ once again, man. Gary, everything's been said, everything's been done. Last question, number 1. What makes Bloodline of Royalty so successful?
Dedication. A dynasty. When I look at Bloodline